Hey fam, how's it going? Speed Duel Bro here, and in today's video we have Energizing Enraged Battle Ox. Let's go. For the skill card we have Energizing Elements. For the monster lineup we have 3 Enraged Battle Ox, 3 Chiron the Mage. And then for spells we have 3 Fire Formation Tanky, 3 Book of Moon, and then to traps we have 2 Floodgate Trap Hole, 2 Wall of Disruption, 2 Widespread Ruin, and 2 Horn of the Phantom Beast. How to win / strategies. Before we go over the game plan, fam, let's review some of the cards first, starting with the skill card Energizing Elements. It reads, you can declare fire, water, earth, or wind. This turn, monsters with the declared attribute gain 500 attack and lose 400 defense. Also, any battle damage they inflict is halved. If you control no monsters with the declared attribute, flip this card over. Next, let's review Enraged Battle Ox. Beast Warrior. If your Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. And as you can see here, Enraged Battle Ox is an Earth. So with Energizing Elements, we're going to be calling Earth Element, okay? And then let's review Fire Formation Tanky. It reads, when this card is activated, you can add 1 level 4 or lower Beast Warrior monster from your deck to your hand. All Beast Warrior monsters you control gain 100 attack. You can only activate 1 Fire Formation Tanky per turn. Continuous spell, mind you. And on a quick side note, with Tanky, we can also add Chiron the Mage, and he's an Earth Beast Warrior, so Enraged Battle Ox's piercing effect is going to apply to this guy as well. But let's read Chiron the Mage too, since while we're at it. Once per turn, you can discard 1 spell, then target 1 spell, trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. And it has 1800 attack. So, for us, Chiron the Mage is our Breaker the Magical Warrior. So the main strategy here, fam, is we're going to control the field with Enraged Battle Ox. And the reason why Enraged Battle Ox is the star of this deck is because he has the ability to do piercing damage. So meaning the opponent can't run or hide with their monster. So we're coming through either way. You know, the opponent's going to lose life points either way. And at the start of your turn, if we search Enraged Battle Ox out with Tanky, and then we bring it out and activate the skill card Energizing Elements, Enraged Battle Ox is going to have 2,300 attack. Now for the opponent, I'd imagine that's very intimidating because remember, a lot of the monsters in our current Speed Duel pool, their defense is significantly weaker than their attack base stat. And if you're facing down a 2,300 beater that can do piercing damage, oh, there really is nowhere to run or hide. And the way we're going to take a commanding control over the field is we're going to either shut down or stun the opponent immediately. And how we're going to go about that is with Book of Moon or Floodgate Trap Hole. And some of you may already be asking, Speed Duel Bro, why are you running just 2 Floodgate Trap Holes? We'll get to that when we get to the card analysis part of the video, okay fam? So sit tight and hang with me for a sec here. Okay, now I know that I have other traps in this deck, you know, like Widespread Ruin, Wall of Disruption, and Horn of the Phantom Beast. But the reason why I put more emphasis on Book of Moon and Floodgate Trap Hole is because when these 2 cards resolve, the opponent really can't make much more plays after that, you know? Like, their monster's face down, so they can't use their effects. But not only that, when their monster is in defense position specifically, that just allows Enraged Battle Ox to do his business, which is piercing damage. So as you can see, fam, the strategy for this deck is very straightforward and simple. We try to take control of the field by shutting down the opponent immediately, and then we run right through the opponent with our Beast Warriors. And mind you, if Chiron the Mage is also on the field, the opponent's staring at a 2,300 beater, 2,400 beater. Now remember, fam, the key thing to remember though is that with Energizing Elements, the battle damage that our monsters will do is halved. But the key thing here is that we have a commanding control over the field. Now, the reason why I play a variety of traps in this deck, fam, is because different monsters call for different traps. So for example, DD Warrior Lady. Yeah, we can shut down the Warrior Lady with Book of Moon or Floodgate Trap Hole, but that would imply that we're going to use our monster to get rid of DD Warrior Lady, and that for us is not too good because remember, we're only running 6 total in this deck. Now granted, I would attack the DD Warrior Lady if it meant going for game, but you get my point here, okay? So Widespread Ruin is here to take care of DD Warrior Lady or anything or any other monster that we don't want our Beast Warriors touching. And then we play the Wall of Disruption because we already have high enough attack strength, but if we can unexpectedly steal games by lowering the opponent's monster's attack, because remember, we've got 2k plus beaters out here. So with Wall of Disruption, we really have nothing to fear. And then we play the Horn of the Phantom Beast. Now, for those of you that don't know, let's review it real quick. It reads, target 1 beast or beast warrior monster you control. Equip this card to that target. It gains 800 attack. If the equipped monster destroys your opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, draw 1 card. So the purpose of Horn of the Phantom Beast in this deck, fam, is to apply even more offensive pressure on the opponent. Because when this is combined with Enraged Battle Locks is gonna have, let's see, 3,100 attack, if my math is correct. Ain't that something? And Chiron the Mage is gonna be at 3,200 attack. So the fact that we can do piercing battle damage and draw a card off of it, oh man, that's gravy right there. Card analysis. The skill card Energizing Elements happens to be very effective in this deck because when combined with Tanky, it gives our monsters 600 plus attack. Now that's very significant if you ask me. And then we play the 3 Enraged Battle Locks at the start of the deck because he does piercing damage and he gives his other Beast Warriors the ability to do piercing damage as well. And then we play 3 Chiron the Mage, our Breaker the Magical Warrior of this deck, and the fact that he too has high attack for a level 4 just fits in very well with the overall theme of this deck, which is we're running right through the opponent. They've got nowhere to run or hide. And then we play the 3 Fire Formation Tanky. Now I know, fam, some of you may feel that this is a bit excessive, and I understand that because once we activate Tanky, it stays on the field, that's it. But with Chiron the Mage can help us facilitate the Tankies in our deck. So, because realistically, we're only going to be activating this once or maybe twice. So on that note, if you ever do activate Tanky twice, just make sure you don't clog up your back row field completely, okay? That goes without saying, but you know, sometimes we're new to this game and we make rookie mistakes. But back to my point is that realistically, we're only going to activate Tanky once, probably. So the other Tankies can be discard fodder for Chiron the Mage, and we can destroy the opponent's back row. And if you feel like if the opponent has too much back row, then we'll go ahead and side in a double Cyclone or whatever, okay? And one more important thing is as to why I play 3 Tankies, fam, is because we don't have a draw engine. So with the 3 Tankies, it just helps add more consistency to us getting to our Beast Warriors sooner rather than later. And then we play the 3 Book of Moon. Now the reason why, fam, I have 3 Book of Moon over the Floodgate Trap Hole is because with Book of Moon, as mentioned in my other videos, Book of Moon is universal utility for this deck, or for any deck for that matter, is because Book of Moon's primary function in this deck is to shut down the opponent's monster, right? By putting it in face down defense position. But the thing is, we can also protect our monsters with Book of Moon. You know, we can dodge the opponent's monster's effects, like, who knows, Relinquished or Nightmare Wheel or anything, you know. It helps us dodge the opponent's back row as well. So that's why I have 3 Book of Moon over the 3 Floodgate Trap Hole. And now, since we're talking about Floodgate Trap Hole, the reason why I play 2 is because we play the 3 Book of Moon, because they function the same thing. So, you know, you get what I'm trying to say here, fam, is that yes, they primarily function in this deck to shut down the opponent. It's just that Book of Moon gives us a little more extra. So I would recommend, fam, if you felt like the opponent's monsters have too much capability when they're summoned, then go ahead and side in that third floodgate trap hole. But now that we're talking about 2 floodgate trap hole in the deck, let's go over why I run 2 of every other trap in this deck too, okay? So the reason why, fam, I have a variety of trap cards in this deck is because I like a nice balance. You know, like in life, you have everything in moderation and balance. So with this balance of trap cards, we can keep the opponent guessing. You know, like we can make them second guess of what they're gonna do next, because the opponent doesn't know what's up our sleeve. You know, what are they gonna run into? A floodgate, a widespread, a wall of disruption, or are we gonna activate Horn of the Phantom Beast on them? You know, and for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a special speed duel tip right here. A speed duel bro tip, mind you. The more that you can keep your opponent second guessing their moves, the higher chance you're gonna win the duel. Because when the opponent second guesses their moves, fam, that's gonna cause them to misplay. Sooner or later, it will happen. That's why I have a variety of traps in this deck. And as mentioned earlier, different monsters call for different traps. So you don't know what situation you're gonna run into. So I felt like a balanced approach would be the best approach for this deck. And then you can just side accordingly depending on your matchup. So moment of truth, fam. Where does this deck rank on the power scale? In my humble opinion, this deck is semi-competitive. Now, the reason why I say this deck is semi-competitive, fam, is because we really do apply a massive amount of offensive pressure on the opponent. Because imagine that first turn, we're already bringing out a 2,300 beater, provided that we have tanky, of course. But you get what I'm saying, that we have a 2,000 plus beater first turn staring down the opponent, and the fact that we can do piercing battle damage, the opponent can't run or hide. And then when we back up our 2k beater with all this variety of back row, I'm pretty sure there's very little the opponent can do at that point. But what's preventing this deck from becoming competitive, fam, is that we just lack a true draw engine. Horn of the Phantom Beast is my vain attempt at trying to give this deck a draw engine of any sort. But don't let that discourage you, fam, from playing this deck, because I promise you, with 3 Book of Moon and all this variety of trap cards, I'm pretty sure we can grind the duel out. You know, we can grind it out with the opponent, and we can turn the momentum of the duel in our favor. And another thing that I'd like to point out about this deck is that not only is it simple to run, but it really does cover the fundamentals and the basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! Very well. And what I mean by fundamentals and basics of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is that, you know, we summon a monster with very strong attack. And because for those of you that don't know, fam, especially maybe the newer members or fam of the Speed Duel community, you know, it's always been about attack points. For majority of decks, you know, it's always been about whoever has the strongest monster will usually win the duel. And that's what this deck does very well, the basics and fundamentals of Yu-Gi-Oh! So this is a great deck for those of you that are new to Speed Duels. And with that being said, fam, that's the deck. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to hit the like button, helps me out a lot. And if you haven't already subscribed to me, your Speed Duel bro, you're more than welcome to subscribe, because 2 things. 1, I always play to win, and I'll teach you how to win. And 2, if you love Speed Duels, I'm sure you'll love me too, your Speed Duel bro. Alright fam, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.